Hey fellow Sova mains, this video covers not just how to shoot Sova darts, but knowing when to use them and why to make your util usage as efficient and effective as possible. Most Sova videos I see just cover useless darts that get shot instantly in high elo, and they don't explain how to make it as deadly as possible. I'll be giving examples from my own gameplay and from pros to show the situations that you will be in and how to adapt to them. For my credentials, I've peaked Radiant in episode 3, but I've been Immortal 3 for 9 other acts, all while being a Sova main. I also have extensive tier 3 and high level collegiate experience, so I will also show Sova tech I only use in that setting. The map I'm covering in this video is Haven, and on Haven defense I mostly play A long, shooting variations of this dart.
Guy on that left side. He came out.
So this is how to actually shoot the dart. You're going to get in this corner here and you're going to crouch, and then you're going to take your crosshair out. And I line up my crosshair with this part of the peg here and go up until this part of the window. There's like this black part, and I go up with my crosshair until my charge bar hits that. And here's what it looks like with the spawn barrier down. I'm going to go up and then it hits there, and then I do a one bounce full charge, and it's going to land right there. So the start will land at about right there, and it's going to get people coming out here, which you can actually pre-fire them from this angle, but it'll also get all of a lobby, and it'll even get back here, all the way back in this area. And it'll also see over cipher cages. And it's important you learn multiple versions of this dart, multiple spots to shoot, and like this is the common one every Sova player is going to know, just a full charge right there. But I like to mix it up a bit, like maybe with a bounce, maybe we'll higher into a bounce, and it'll land right here behind the wall. And this one's really awkward to shoot, you have to get like into aiming to actually shoot it most of the time. And another one I like to do is kind of towards the roof. I crouch and aim somewhere up here, and it'll land on this ledge here. And this is another one that's kind of awkward to shoot, and it'll surprisingly get more tags than you may think. This dart helps you get instant info on whether or not the attackers are pressuring A. If the arrow pings and no enemy presence has been shown, you can actually grab the orb for free. Orb farming allows me to get Sova ult 3 times a half usually, which gives me more opportunities to get easy kills. I often pair up with a jet long or send them short to peek off my dart, giving me more assists. I also recommend asking your KO or Astra if you have one, to either KO knife or Astra pull the entrance to guarantee you get early lobby control and a free orb. If I have recon and the enemies aren't pressuring a lobby and my jet is holding one of these angles, I can rotate and stack other parts of the map. Getting your jet or chamber in a pushed up position like so allows you to help out other teammates, and if the enemies make contact with this teammate, then you have more than enough time to rotate back to A and hold the site. Haven is particularly difficult to hold on defense if you aren't diverting your resources efficiently. This is one way to do it easily, even in ranked with little communication. If the enemy team is pressuring A hard, I recommend 2 actions. One is falling back to site and using more of your util to delay and attempt to trade your teammates. The other is playing full retake. Using Sova's kit is perfect for that. I often retake from heaven and shoot these shock darts. I have full charge, one bounce to default here, kill the spike planner, and if I have an Odin, I do these cheeky wall bangs. So this is the wall bang that I was showing in the intro. And you actually can't wall bang this whole wall here, but this one spot you can if you line up in this corner, and then you look at this brick here, and you look at the point of the brick, and then go up a little bit, just right, and that'll get graffiti, and it's headshot level. And then if you want to wall bang from heaven, what I'll do after that is I'll come up here and I'll drone and try to get a tag hell, and you can actually wall bang through here. You're looking straight down. If you look to the side, that doesn't go through, but this will go through here. And then the anti-plant dart that I was doing, it was just a one bounce full charge right here, and land default. And what you want to do is you want to stay back here to be safe, because if you just stand here, even if you're in the smoke, and you shoot this when they plant and then you do it again, you're just going to get spammed. So I recommend sitting here with the shock out, and then doing a jump or something, and then going back to safety. And then for the recon, for retake, if you don't want to be exposed from all this area, I'll just shoot it right there. But if I have time, I'll try to shoot it right here. And this dart will see hell and default and graffiti. And you want to shoot this dart when your team is coming out of CT, so they're creating chaos, so they're not shooting your dart. Because if you shoot the dart even a second before your team starts coming out, it's going to get insta-shot most times. I do this Sova ult in the A main a lot, and it gets me a lot of double kills. But what's important about it is you want to do it whenever you think the enemy team is going to push A, or they put a lot of presence there early. And what I do is I will start the ult in the middle, and you always want to move your ult somewhere else. Like, especially if you don't have info on your ult. I'm going to assume there's going to be someone right here, because usually you have a Sova drone or a Sky here, or if a Cypher or Chamber lurks here, they usually sit in this corner. So I'll start in the middle so that they think they're safe, and then I'll move while I'm ulting to get this corner, and usually that gets a tag. And a lot of times, if you know someone is stuck on this wall here and you've tagged them, the only place they could go to dodge it is to the other side, right? So what you can do is you can start here and then anticipate they're going to go to the right at the last second. I often retake C a lot with this setup, and with these darts, try to shoot them at the perfect times. For example, here, I shot these when I knew there were guys on default.
I'm dead. No, bait me.
Backside.
You're so good.
So this is how to do the shock darts, and these are a little risky because you can get shot at from here and from garage window, so you just gotta make sure you have a teammate in garage or watching garage window while you're doing this. And I listen for the plant sound, or when I know that there's a lot of people default, because it's gonna land in this area here. And this area is really common. You get a lot of people just hiding here. A lot of teams will just stack here, like 2 or 3 people there. So you do a lot of damage with this one. But to do it, if I'm stationary, I'm going to stand somewhere in this area, and I try to aim right here at this part of plat. And if I do it with the recon, it will, we'll see where it lands. And it lands right here. And this is like the default plant spot, but you can alter where you're aiming to shoot at different spots. So like in the clip, I had the first one land here and the second one land over here, because I figured that once I shoot one shock dart there, they're going to move to the right, and this is also a common spot. So if I want to hit the default spot, I'll aim about right there. And if I want to hit it a little further back, I'm going to aim up here. It's going to land further back right here. So you just have to be a little unpredictable when you shoot these, and try to figure out where they are on sight based on your radar and shoot based off that. Okay, now for retake recons, it's a little awkward if you rotate from CT to do a recon, but if you think the enemies are back C long, and maybe there's just one guy default, you can just do a full charge here and try not to get shot here. But if not, you want to be a little safer, what I'll do is I'll come right here in this corner, and then I'll aim right here. And I don't really have any specific lineups really, I just kind of know where to shoot it. But this does the same thing, and you're safer, and you can peek off it too. So easily just shoot it, come out here, spray a little, come clear these angles, and then you're good to go. And you can also wall bang through this box from there to there, and you'll get a lot of kills doing that as well. But if you're rotating through B, and I like to rotate through CT a lot because it's safe from lurkers B, but if you have someone who pushed down mid early in the round, then you can just rotate through B because it's way faster, and you can do this dart. You're going to get in this corner standing up, and then you're going to look right here. There's this part of the wire, and what I think of it as is there's this white part here, the wire, and then it goes into this darker part, and that's where you put the charge bar. And I put it just like that. And you're going to have to figure this one out on your own, but I kind of have my own way of remembering it, and I can get this consistently. And this dart's a really good alternative to this dart because this one gets shot quite often, but this one you won't see coming as much. You can only hear it, and it's a good one to do if there's a lot of commotion going on, because then they won't be able to hear it coming. Here's another clip from Sinatraa, and he's one of my favorite Sova mains. I love to watch him play Sova, like aggressively and, you know, with style. But anyways, I'll do this wallbang a lot, and what I'll do is I'll mark here in grass, and then a lot of times I'll spray through this door actually, and I'll get my teammate here to also spray at the same time, and a lot of times they'll get a kill too if they do it. But you'll spray this, probably want to aim in, We'll spray around here, and that'll get this spot, which a lot of people hold, or at least a lot of people will come and swing like this, right? But what Sinatraa was doing was over here, you don't even have to break the door, and I recommend you do this if you don't have a teammate with you. You can just mark there and shoot this wood part, and you can also do it with medium penetration as well. It'll go through. I'll usually play Sova Garage when we have a Killjoy alt retake setup on A, or we just have a heavy A setup, or if we just want to leave A open. I'll usually play towards Garage at C because I can rotate to C a lot faster and help out that way. But Sova's util is actually really good for grass and garage. So if I spray here and I hear a lot of them coming grass, I'll come over here and I'll do a one bounce full charge right about here in this box. And that's going to land right here, and if you get a tag off this, you can wallbang this entire wall here. So if anyone is trying to hide in this corner, you can just spray them here all the way along. So I'll get a lot of free kills that way. And then later in the round, I'll just randomly spray this sometimes as well. I'll make sure nobody's holding this, jiggle it, and then I'll just spray it. And you'll be surprised the amount of times someone's just holding for a push back here. They're just holding this angle commonly with a rifle, and you might be able to tag them with the Odin. A common problem I see in a lot of Sova's gameplays is they'll shoot darts like this, and while this does give you info on short, if somebody wants to shoot it, it's very easy to shoot, and if they see it one round, it'll get shot every round after that. And here's another example of that. They'll shoot a one bar like this, and I feel like that's just way too easy to break, and when I was shooting these, mine were getting broken instantly every time. So I figured out my own lineup that's harder to shoot and in a better spot, and I'll show you what that is first. So it's gonna land under this roof, and it's at 2 bars, so it goes really fast, and it'll get under here, which is kind of a weird spot, and it gets all under here, up here, and if they're pushed up all the way. So to do this dart, this is the only spot I could find how to do it, and so you're kind of in an exposed spot, but if you shoot this at the start of the round, you should, and move away, you should be fine. But I find this rock here, and it's like the first of the many rocks on this ledge here. You get in the middle of it, uncrouch, and then now you're gonna have to probably find your own way to line this up. But what I do is I look for this leaf here that I'm pointing at, and I go to the bottom left of it, and I do a jump 2 bar. So again, I look for this leaf, go to the bottom left, and do a jump 2 bar, and you release at the top with a jump. And this is just a good default dart. If your team wants to default take A control and get out, or just show presence A, this is really good. And it's also a kind of a hard dart to jet smoke as well, because a lot of times jets will just smoke this, but it's kind of a weird spot to jet smoke. So a lot of times when I show A presence like this, I often just hold the push short with the Vandal, but I only really do this if they don't have an op, because if they have an op, I'm screwed here. But if we decide to rush A instead, a lot of times I won't even do that dart, because usually we'll have somebody flash out here and have other teammates' utility that'll get us out to this corner, and that allows me to do a better dart for sight. And this is yet another Sinatraa dart that I use, and it's the God A dart. And it's going to land right here, and this is just the best dart for A. It'll get everything but hell, practically. And to do this one, you're going to jump up here, and you're going to align yourself in the middle of the sandbags and this ledge. And then I look for this piece of wood here, and I go to the right side of it and go up until I hit the top of the black part here. And it's yet another one you're going to have to practice, and you're going to release it at the top of your jump. But if you wanted an easier version of that, you can simply just come to the bottom of the sandbag and then just aim in this yellow area, do a 1 bar, and that's still a pretty good dart. It'll get shot a lot faster, but if you don't have time to line it up or you're not confident in it, that's also good. Now for A post plant, I like to play default a lot, and what I'll do if heaven is smoke is I'll shoot shock darts full charge like this, just around this corner, and I'm trying to do damage, and I'm guessing on the enemy's position here. So if I think an enemy's here, I'm going to try to shoot it here, and if I think they're back here, I'll shoot it here. But these actually do a lot of damage, and they end up delaying the push somewhat as well. And if you still have drone, if you didn't use it short, This is also this is a drone I recommend. It's just droning from here and going down short. But if you save drone and just use dart, I'll send drone out if they're not coming out yet, and maybe try to get to tag heaven, or at least delay or get info. But another thing I'll do is if my recon comes back, I'll just aim up here, and once I hear them starting to come out, once I believe the first person has exited this doorway and is committing, I'm gonna shoot a full charge right there. And it's the same spot as the god dart, and I mean, this is just, nobody is going to come out and be trying to shoot this dart. It is just too high in the air and in an awkward spot, and this can help your guys graffiti in hell, holding this crossfire right here, help them get some kills with it. But for C, a lot of times if I think there's gonna be shorties at the close entrance, if there's a guy close here, or if they're, you know, it's got a shorty in this angle or this angle, I'm just gonna clear up here with the drone and clear all these close angles for my team, and then I'm gonna try to send an arrow as fast as possible back sight to clear out any stragglers that are kind of just hiding here waiting for us to push. But if I have maybe another initiator that can clear this out, or at least get info on it, like maybe a KO knife or something, or a skydog, I'm just gonna dart. And this dart is gonna look, I'll show you what it looks like first, and you've probably seen this one before, but it's gonna land right there. And this one I combo with my ult a lot, but first I'll show you how to do it. So you're gonna look at this window, and I look at the right part of it, like right here. I go straight, I crouch, and then I aim at the top of this part of the roof and do a full charge one bounce. And it's gonna land somewhere in this area. You might miss it sometimes, but I would practice it because it's kind of a weird dart. But it gets everything on sight, and I'll combo my ult with it a lot, and this is what it'll look like.
They're playing off site. Nice.
So in that clip, I didn't actually manage to tag anyone. Usually you could tag here, here, or here. But I just wanted to show that clip because I wanted to show an example of what I called a line, or just a good Sova ult. And that's, you're lining up a bunch of common angles together in an ult, and even if you don't have info on it, it's still a good ult because it's a common spot, right? So I call this one a pretty good line because you'll have a lot of people holding either out of garage, in CT, or at the entrance. And what I'll do is I don't start at this point, like same thing with the AL. I don't start at the point, but I end there. So I'll usually start like to the right and then go to the left. So I'll do this. And then if I don't get a tag, then I might try sight again. And this is yet another good one because you'll have people in this corner and a lot of people logs in this area and coming out CT. So you have a lot of what I call lines for Sova ults, and even if you don't get a tag with the recon, you can still make your Sova ult really effective. C post plant is a little tricky because you need to communicate with your team on whether or not you guys are going to hold the site or you're going to go back and play for long. And a lot of that can be determined around like if the enemy has an Astra ult or any kind, or a Killjoy ult, or any kind of util that's going to push you off site, that will make you want to plant in the position like this, here, back here, or even just the default spot here, and play for long. And from there you can use your Sova util, and you could find your own lineups. I mean, I have my own ones. I'm not really going to show how to do them, but a lot of times I can just delay with my util pretty effectively, droning and stuff. But I rarely play for long anymore. I used to do it a lot, but I feel like playing for sight happens a lot more often. And what I do as Sova is I try to maximize my shock dart damage. So similar to A, shooting the shock darts when there's people here, like these shock darts do a ton of damage because there's always people just waiting here. They're waiting for the rest of the team to rotate from other parts of the map, and so I try to shoot my Sova shock darts there. A lot of times I'll do a full charge double bounce, and I mean that one kind of messed up, but a lot of times you get it to bounce kind of weird, and you might be able to get a good tag. So I'll do something like that, and if I'm further back, like playing this position, holding garage, I'll just do just a one tap shock, but just doing damage here is really good before the retake to help your team out. But same thing, like on A, I'm shooting the same dart I used to take the site to defend the site. So if I think a retake is coming and I have dart, I can shoot this and then get ready to peek with the dart. One thing I like to do in a default is counter the common trip placements that ciphers and chambers do in order to divert resources. So instead of having someone here, and maybe someone on B, they'll put a trip here and a trip here so that they can stack towards different sites and leave these open, and then if it's broken, they'll come over and try to defend that. But if you can break these fast with shock darts, it'll force them to leave early in the round and allowing your team to group up towards one site and hit it when there's only one person there. So here's one of the shocks you can do. This dart is really easy and effective, and it's going to land right here, and it's going to break chamber trips that will be on either side, so either here or here, and it'll break the cipher trips. So to do it, it's very simple. You're going to get into the corner of this box, and then you're going to just aim in the middle of these 2 points here, right here, and do a double bounce tap. It's going to bounce off the stone and land right here perfectly. These are the 2 recons I do to get into the garage. The first one, you have to get here into the spawn barrier. You're going to line up your HUD right here on this point, like so. You're going to do a full charge double bounce. It's going to land there. This is the average Jonas dart, and it gets everything in garage, including this. But another one you can do to switch it up and be a little bit more safe is you get into this corner of the spawn barrier, and then you aim right about here. Your crosshair just right under this peg, and you just do a full charge. And this arrow will not see here, but it will see all the way through into garage. The point of these darts is to get early garage control, and possibly if there's a lot of people hiding in these corners, you can spray the door at the beginning of the round and possibly get a free first blood. That's the main stuff I have for Haven. Let me know in the comments if you have any suggestions or things I missed, and thanks for watching. Make them guess.
Nice! Good round. Yeah.